Hello there, start of a whole new week. Welcome to Monday's programme with me, Anne Davis. The challenge of a lifetime, Preet sets her sights on the North Pole, and she could be the first woman to ever make this dangerous solo trip. And now, a polar explorer from Derby who's preparing to take on her biggest challenge to date. Preet Chandi, also known as, appropriately enough, Polar Preet, is preparing for a solo expedition to the North Pole. Well, she's no stranger to extreme challenges. She has, since 2021, completed 3 solo expeditions in Antarctica. And yes, Preet joins me now. Thank you so much for coming in. First question I have to ask you, I'm sorry to say it, but is why?
It's funny, before I went to the South Pole, I didn't know anything about it, and I thought, I wonder what the North Pole is like, not knowing anything about it, and then realising how challenging and different it is. I want to continue to push boundaries, and yes, it's a solo trip, but it's about so much more than just me. I'll be creating a school syllabus for young people when I'm out there through my community interest company, Adventurers Hours, and giving out grants as well, and having school competitions. So it's, yeah,
it is so much more than just...
It really is,
You were saying it's so much more difficult than Antarctica, and I didn't understand why, because to me they're just exactly the same, but actually entirely different.
They are. So, and I didn't really know this before I started looking into it. So Antarctica, my expeditions have been on land. I have 24 hours of daylight in the summer seasons. There's a logistics company that I've done my expeditions through, and then you go to the Arctic, where the geographic North Pole is, and that is in the middle of the sea. So I'll be travelling over sea ice, so that's ice over the sea. The way it shifts, it's dynamic. I'll have to go over big blocks of ice like a maze when I start my trip, and then there'll be sections where I literally have to get into the water with an immersion suit, swim across and get out the other side. And of course there are polar bears there, so I will be carrying a firearm to hopefully scare them away, and there will be some hours of darkness when I start. It'll be about -50 at the start. So
it sounds hideous, to be honest. To be frank, it sounds ghastly.
The Antarctic trips were hard, but then I started looking into the North Pole and I was like, wow, this is a different level of hard.
and you don't even know now if you can do the whole thing, because it depends whether somebody's going to be around who could be called on to rescue you.
100%. So there's like 95% chance failure, but you can't fail unless you try. So why not try? But you know, I've failed stuff before. I failed one of my biggest Antarctic trips, and it was hard because, you know, I never was told it's okay to fail. I always thought it was a really bad thing, but it's not. So try anyway. I
know it sounds corny, but it is about the journey, isn't it? Not necessarily the destination.
It is so much about the journey.
And if you achieve this,
yes.
I mean, has anybody done this before? Somebody has.
Yeah, so 2 men have done it solo and unsupported, who've both been really helpful, and then no woman has done it solo before, so I would be the first woman in history to have skied solo and unsupported to the North and South Poles, if I make it.
Just very briefly, we're nearly at the end of this interview. I'll talk to you forever, but what do you think is the most difficult part of this?
The water. The water is probably the most dangerous part. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm training in the UK, I'm dragging my tyres, I've got both tyres in my Dacia outside now. They finally actually both fit in the boot.
Which is, of course, what the Princess of Wales did as well, because when she came to see you.
She did drag my tyres, and, you know, I can get strong here in the UK, but nothing really prepares you for that kind of ground and that coldness with the humidity and going through that.
I think you... Mad but amazing, absolutely astonishing. And I'm begging you, please speak to us again when you may be in the middle of it, or certainly at the end of it. And we wish you all the very best of luck.
Thank you very much.
It is weather time now, which has been a bit Arctic, but certainly isn't anymore, Kay?